and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk more about the silent killer of student loan debt. So in the previous video that I made, someone made a very valid point in the comments, and they said that maybe people don't really understand what compound interest is. So this first video, I found one that I felt like made it very simple to understand. Again, it's talking about compound interest for investments, not really for debt, but it works the same way, okay?
All right, let's explain what that 8% interest rate means. The interest rate is the rate of return that you're getting on the money that you have invested. You will be accruing compound interest when you have your money in an investment account. To explain compound interest, I'm going to look at a $10,000 investment over a 10-year investment timeline. So in year one, you invest that $10,000. In year two, your money grows from that $10,000 with an 8% interest rate to $10,800. Now in year three, you have $800 more that's accruing that 8% interest rate. So while that $10,000 that you originally invested is growing, all of the returns that you're making on the 8% interest rate is also growing. So at the end of the 10 years, you'll have almost $20,000 invested. There's a ton of free compound interest calculators online that can help you estimate these investments.
Hey guys, so that was a really good explanation. And I think it's very simple for compound interest. But as I said, it would work that same way for debt. You'll be paying off more than the original loan amount. Okay, so let's get into some more of these videos.
Apparently, some people think that graduating with $250,000 in student loans but a $190,000 salary means that you can easily repay that debt in 2 years. So let's talk about that. I completely recognize that I was privileged enough to graduate with the best case salary scenario, but even with that high salary profile, repaying your student loans is not a walk in the park. For the past 3.5 years, I put $2,000 every month and half of all my bonuses towards loan repayment. And guess how much I have left? $175,000. That's right. I'm not even halfway done. But it's true I could be done already. My classmate, who paid off her debt the fastest out of anyone I know, did it in 3 years. But at what cost? She lived off of way less than she ever had before in her life, while unfortunately working in an environment that really rewards lavish lifestyles and living. It takes a lot of mental fortitude to work those hellish hours as a junior associate and not want to buy yourself something nice every once in a while, or go on vacation.
So, again, if you guys, the video that we saw, the very first video about compound interest, that works the same way for student loans. So imagine you're paying every month, but your balances continue to go up, and that is why. And again, not to discredit what she has been doing, but just paying $2,000 a month on $250,000 in student loans, it's not gonna pay it off in a timely manner. It's not going to really put a dent in what you owe.
Okay, so I owe $303,000 for student loans. The average interest rate is 6%. Interest that had accrued before COVID was already $26,000. So I'm gonna go through things that I could buy for $300K instead of student loans. Okay, I could buy this Maserati for $309. That's pretty much breaking even. You could also get this Birkin bag. It's a little bit over at $325,000, but I could make it work. There's also this really intense shredder for $300K that you could be useful. You could also go on a yacht vacation for 2 weeks, coming in at roughly like €200K, and then I gotta tip the staff, you know. I could also live in Indiana and have a nice 3-bedroom home instead of paying my loans. It also now costs $300K to raise a kid, so should I just have one instead of 2? And a rhino horn costs $300K, which apparently cures cancer, so now I'm really screwed.
Yeah, I was telling my boyfriend, I was like, when I actually opened up my student loan profile, looked at the amount of debt that I had, I was like, this is a mortgage. Like, by the time I'm done, I will have purchased a small home somewhere. And that is the frustrating part, annoying part about student loans. But then it's always this caveat, you know, if your family can't really afford to pay for you to go to school, if you weren't properly educated on grants and going to cheaper schools, then you fall into a trap, which is what we all did. I did it as well, of getting student loans. So yeah, but woo, like this video puts it into perspective, like the value of the debt that we have.
If you're gonna take out student loans, make sure you know the terms. I love talking about scholarships on here, but I know a lot of people have to take out student loans, and a lot of you guys don't know what the terminology means. So I'm gonna explain today what the difference is between an unsubsidized loan and a subsidized loan. These are both federal student loans from the government, but the main difference is when these loans accrue interest. For example, when you take out a subsidized loan, that means that no interest is going to accrue on top of the balance that you took out until after you get out of college. Unsubsidized student loans are going to start accruing interest as soon as you take them out, all the way through your college degree, and then after until you pay it off. The government wants to make money. So because subsidized loans, they don't charge interest on, they don't really make any money from it. So that being said, they do put caps and limits on how much subsidized loans you can have. Even though unsubsidized student loans do accrue interest, the interest rates are lower than that of private student loans. Knowing these little things really helped me decide and structure how I was going to pay off my loans, and I even started paying some of my student loan interest while I was in college. Don't go in blind. Read your contracts, read the contract that has your student loan agreement in it, and make sure you understand what you're getting into and who you are expected to pay after graduation.
Well, that was very informative. I think it's good to understand the difference between subsidized and unsubsidized. And the fact that she actually was paying interest during college was an awesome idea on her part. So my major loans came through graduate school for my CRNA degree, and my boyfriend always tells me how lucky I am that during that time Biden had suspended interest on those loans, so my balance is smaller than what it could be. So for those 3 years I did not accrue any interest on those large loans, so I am grateful for that.
I graduated from college in May 2021 with $70,000 in student debt, and here's why I'm not worried about it. I have about a 3% interest rate on most of my loans, and I'm well aware of what the best repayment plans are. Is $70,000 a lot of student debt? Yeah, absolutely. And do I wish I had taken out less? Yes. But alas, 18-year-old me did not know better, and I did my best in that moment, and that's all I could have asked of myself. So I'm not going to beat myself up about it, and instead I'm just going to educate myself. With around a 3% interest rate, if I paid just the minimum monthly payments for the rest of the loan term, I'd only end up paying around $10,000 more. And yes, $10,000 is a lot, but in comparison to $70,000 in student debt, $10,000 over the course of 15 years is not too bad. Now, I also don't pay the minimum monthly payments, I pay more so that I don't pay $10K. I'm making extra payments every month. And I'm making my payments bi-weekly instead of monthly, which is a little hack if you didn't know about it. So yeah, I have a lot of student debt, but I'm not ashamed of it, and you shouldn't be either.
I don't think anyone should be ashamed of their debt. I think it's better to acknowledge it, accept it, and make a plan to get rid of it if that's your goal. Some people just don't want to pay off their debt. Some people have already accepted the fact that they're going to go to their grave with it. And if that's what you want to do, then you've made your choice.
You're either with me or against me. Bring it in. Would you loosen up?
So when two physicians marry each other, even two CRNAs, you're going to be combining a lot of debt. So this isn't surprising. $500,000 is a lot of money, but I wonder what their plans are to tackle it. But yeah, that's not surprising though, not at all.
My name is Sarah. I'm 21 and I'm double majoring in psychology and data science.
Do you have any student loans?
I do have student loans, yeah.
How much?
Right now I have $5,500, and since I'm kind of graduating soon, it's probably gonna cut off at that.
So how are you able to get through college with only having like $5,000 of student loans?
I've had a lot of jobs throughout college. Freshman year I had like 2 jobs, sophomore year I had like 3 jobs, now I have 3 jobs. Also like scholarships and stuff like that, but mainly working.
How do you balance school and 3 jobs? That's crazy.
I I'm living on the bare minimum, you know, walking the tightrope, but hopefully I will end out strong. Just one more year left.
Why'd you choose a double major?
I really liked my psych major, and then data science, I was taking some like web dev classes and I wanted to jump into more dev stuff. So data science was a good option for me.
What do you hope to do in the future with your major?
I hope to either go into UX design, or I might potentially just go further down the psych route. I'm a teacher like on the side at USC for like elementary school kids. So I might like go into something related to that, but I'm kind of all over the place, so we'll see.
Wow, very, very impressive. For people that work during school, for the very reason of paying their tuition so they aren't having to take out debt, that's so impressive. Like that, I'm just so amazed at that. I'm proud of her, and I'm happy for her. Now, if I don't know if I could do it, cause me sometimes my emotions just, I have to have my rest, and I have to have a clear mental space. But very impressive.
I graduated pharmacy school back in 2013 with $250,000 of student debt at 7.5% interest. So the first 4 years after graduating and becoming a pharmacist, I pumped out all my money, all my income that I made, and lowered my expense significantly, living like a college student to aggressively pay off my student loans. And my goal was I wanted to be free of this bad debt. With student loan debt, even if you declare bankruptcy, it still follows you. And what's even worse is your parents typically have to co-sign you on the loan as well. So if you're unable to pay, then your parents will be stuck with the bill as well. So that was my objective for the first 4 years after graduating pharmacy school, was to pay it off as fast as possible.
That was good for him for getting it done and out the way.
Right. It's not my fault. It's your fault.
When I was 18 years old, I argued with my parents about this exact point. I kept telling them, like, isn't getting private student loans like a really bad idea? Like, isn't it like going to like follow me forever? And they're like, we've raised 8 other kids before, however many kids, 6 other kids before you. We know what we're talking about. And here I am at nearly 27 with the highest amount of student loans because of what they advised me to do. Even though I told them I didn't think it was a good idea and I probably shouldn't be doing it. But I'm 18, so what do I know, right?
So I don't know how I feel about that. I do believe if our parents are not educated on finances and understanding of student loans and debts and all of that, then they can't properly guide us. But is it their fault? I don't know if I would say it's their fault. In this situation, it seems that she knew a better route, but still decided to go on her parents' advice. But I don't know if I would blame the parents. I don't know. Like, you guys, let me know. What do you think? I think it's hard to blame somebody on something that they don't know anything about. But at the same time, I do know that if someone doesn't break the cycle, it's gonna be a continual thing. Like, you got into debt, so you're gonna encourage your children to do debt, and your children is gonna encourage their children to take on debts, unnecessary debts, and just be like this never-ending cycle in your family and your legacy. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I don't know if I would actually say it's the parents' fault, but that's just me.
Hey, Dr. Anderson, how much student loan debt did you graduate with?
That's kind of complicated. 0, but I had a 21 and a half year obligation to the United States Air Force.
So this is definitely a route to take. If you don't want to deal with paying back student loans, you can definitely go into the military. So, I mean, it's an option for some people. I actually thought about it back when I was in When I was in undergrad, the first time I thought about graduating and going to the military, to have them pay back my student loans, but back then it was going to be a 10-year commitment. And you don't get the money up front, they give it to you gradually. So I decided not to take that route, but that doesn't mean that it's not an option for you or for your kids. I mean, I think it's very important, it's pertinent, it's beneficial to explore all options when it comes to financing and paying for degrees. But again, like, my first advice is to always see if whatever field you choose, can that degree be obtained via community college or a public school where tuition is typically lower. Like, is the idea can you think about maybe staying at home and driving to a school nearby, and that'll decrease costs as far as meals and boarding. I mean, there are lots of things to explore and to think about when preparing yourself or your children for an college education. So yeah, so guys, this was a lot of small videos, not as heavy as the first video, but still very much so informative. Alright guys, so that was it for this video. Any suggestions or opinions, leave it down in the comment. Everybody is free to have their own opinion. I'm not going to delete you or block you for having your own opinion. We're different people, we think differently, and we process information differently, and our views are different. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.